Hi again and welcome back to Seekers and Cynics. We're here at Bobbin Road Church and my name's Richard Bentley and I've been doing some stuff trying to introduce the Bible to you, especially if you're just trying to get your head around what it is. And this is the third talk in this series, so if you've missed the other two, do go back and have a look. Last time we were looking at the difference between the Old Testament in the Bible and the New Testament. And we saw that the Old Testament can be a bit tricky, and I encourage you, if you're a beginner, to start with the New Testament. And I was explaining that really the Old Testament is just the backstory to Jesus, a little bit like Star Wars episodes 1, 2 and 3 are the backstory to Luke Skywalker. But Jesus is the real thing, and it's his story that we need, and that's to be found in the New Testament. And what I want to do today is say a little bit more about the New Testament and what's in it. What can we expect to find? Next time we'll ask the question, is it reliable? Can I trust what's in it? But today we're just going to look at what's there. And essentially there are just three main segments to the New Testament. There's the Gospels, then there's one book called the Acts of the Apostles, and then there are a load of letters. You might say, well, there's a fourth bit, isn't there? Revelation on the end, the book of Revelation. Yes, that's there. But really that was written as a letter, as a circular letter to 7 different churches. So we can really include it with the letters, if you like. So 4 Gospels, the Acts of the Apostles, and then 20 odd letters. That's the New Testament. Altogether there are 27 different books in the New Testament. So it's a collection of 27 different documents written by 9 or 10 different authors in the period straight after Jesus. So between about AD 45 and AD 90, those documents are written. And we call them books, the books of the New Testament, but some of them are just very short letters, only a couple of pages long. What's interesting, of course, is that none of those authors were self-consciously writing the New Testament. They were writing their letter or their gospel to help their particular community or their particular audience to understand the Christian message and the truth about Jesus. And the church then collected together very quickly afterwards those documents which were known to be kosher and agreed to be kosher by the whole church. In simple terms, a document made it into the New Testament if it was agreed by the whole church that it had been written by either one of the inner circle of Jesus, one of the apostles, or by somebody very closely connected to them. So those were the documents that found their way into the New Testament. So what's in them? Well, the 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke and John, simply contain a record of the life and the teaching and the works of Jesus. Think of it as 4 different journalists, if you like, each covering the same story, but each selecting their own material, interviewing their own witnesses and presenting it from their own angle, and making their own arrangement of that material. So we've got 4 mini biographies, if you like, of Jesus in those 4 Gospels. It's fantastic that we've got 4 accounts. It's absolutely wonderful. I guess God didn't want us to have to rely on the viewpoint of just one Gospel writer. We've got 4 writers bringing us an account of the life of Jesus. Lots of overlap in them, of course, because it's the same person they're writing about, but also differences too, and that's really helpful. If you're looking for God, if you want to find Jesus and salvation and the way to heaven and to understand Christianity, the Gospels are the place to start. That's the place to find out about Jesus. Start there. And I would encourage you, before you read them, just pause and pray and say, God, if you're there, Jesus, if you are who you say you are, then please, as I read, just, Lord, reveal yourself to me. Come at it humbly, come at it openly. Start with the Gospels. They're not difficult to understand. Get a modern translation. We'll think a bit more about that another time, but with a modern translation, they're not difficult to understand. Then after the Gospels comes this one book, the Acts of the Apostles, and that's basically a short history of what happened in the spread of Christianity for the 30 or 40 years that came straight after Jesus. And it's an exciting book full of journeys and shipwrecks and narrow escapes and beatings and executions and prison breaks and all sorts of stuff going on in that book, in the Acts of the Apostles. And then come what we call the letters or the epistles. Okay, and what are they? Well, basically in the 40 years that followed Jesus, churches sprang up everywhere around the Mediterranean as the Christian message spread. And those new converts needed teaching and encouragement. And so the leaders of the church, the apostles, Peter, John, Paul, James, and others, wrote letters to those churches to help them understand more of the Christian message and to encourage them to stand firm in their faith. And that's what those letters are. And then, as I say, they were treasured by the church. Don't forget, we're in an age before printing. So these letters were treasured and then were copied and were shared round between different churches, and eventually were brought together and collected together along with the Gospels to form what we have now as the New Testament. If you want to know about Jesus, if you want to be a Christian, therefore the New Testament is all you need. It's never been added to or changed since it was sort of signed and sealed, and we'll look at that next time. We can prove that. The New Testament is the place to go. Get somewhere quiet, come at it humbly. As I say, ask God to speak to you, and just give it an honest read through. It's not a very long read, isn't the New Testament? You read through it fairly easily in just a week, or less than that if you just kept going. But there's no substitute for just opening it yourself. Don't read about it or listen to me talk about it. Just no substitute for just reading it directly yourself. Those pages are so much more because they're inspired. Yes, they're ancient documents, but they're not just dry, dusty ancient documents. They are a stream of life. They are God's bread to nourish our soul. They are light to shine into our hearts. They are a place where we can meet Jesus Christ. What are you waiting for?